A new carnival banner is on its way, but will this banner return Kai Goku and Kid Gohan? How's it, everybody? Celtic Link here. We're back for another Dokkan battle video. In today's video, we are talking about an all-important question that many of you have been asking. I know quite a few of you out here watching are in the same boat I am. You either couldn't summon on part 2 of the 8th anniversary rather, or you got really shafted, right? If you're like me and you went darn near 3,000 stones into Kai Goku's banner and did not get him. This is a subject that is very near and dear to you, and that is whether or not Kai Goku and Kid Gohan will return on the upcoming Carnival banner for Christmas. There's no solid answer, but I think there's a pretty good argument to be made for them to return. And we're going to talk about that here in this video. So just real quick, I did want to remind you guys of what these guys are doing and understand why this is such an important topic, right? Kai Goku on his 18 key is infinitely stacking defense and raising his attack for the turn. On his 12 key, he's getting an extra attack and defense raise for the turn, which is very helpful. That raising defense should not be underestimated. But with all of that, he activates his entrance animation, giving himself key 4 and attack and defense 59%, as well as guard for 6 turns. So for 6 turns, he can stack while guarding. He also has 4 key and attack and defense 159, just in general. He has the survive KO mechanic, and if he happens to survive at the end of that turn, he'll recover 59% HP. He also gets an additional key 1 and chance for a crit up to 59% with each attack received. He also has 59% defense for the rest of battle, from which he receives the 5th attack, right? So he's doing a lot. He also has the nullification for Ki Blast supers with a counter, right? This guy is insane. He's so helpful for so many teams. If there's a team that needs a base Goku, this is probably the one you want to run, you know, or maybe 23rd World Tournament. But this guy is so helpful. He helps out the Z-Bomb duo a lot by providing slot 1 coverage for them while they charge up and get ready for their Spirit Bomb. The Kid Gohan, on the other hand, is raising attack infinitely and raising defense infinitely, both, which is really nice. He can get really powerful really quickly since he's stacking on both his 18 and his 12 key. He does have a unit super attack, or I'm sorry, his unit super attack allows him to greatly raise attack, and his 18 key allows him to raise just regularly. So he still, with activating that unit super, which is with a Piccolo, a Krillin, a Yamcha, or a Tien, he basically is greatly raising his attack, which is really helpful, right? I've seen this guy put up some numbers when allowed to use that. You just need to have one of these other characters on the team in order to make it happen. He also does have an entrance animation like the Goku. It's basically based off of Head Chala, right? He gets key 4 and attack and defense 58%. He has an additional attack that has a 70% chance of becoming a super attack for 6 turns, which helps him stack more. He also gets key 4 and 158% attack and defense. He reduces damage 30% from enemies who've been hit by the catcher, so that's that LR Roshi effect. And he's also getting a lot of extra key and defense up to 58%, along with each attack received. He also gets an additional 58% from the turn in which he receives the 5th attack. So Kai Goku geared more towards defense. This guy surprisingly geared more towards offense. And now, unlike the Kai Goku, this guy has an active skill that kind of is a bit more restricted, right? Kai Goku's active is literally just Earth Red Fighters, which is really easy to pull off. But Gohan needs Bond of Master Disciple, which, unless you're running his team specifically, can turn into some trouble. Although if you have a Piccolo, not so bad, but sometimes you don't, right? So it is worth noting there. But I mean, it's still pretty good. I do feel like Goku's is a bit more powerful in my experience with these two, but that isn't to say it's a bad active skill, right? It's still giving him effective against all types. It's still massively raising his attack for the turn. in the same way that Goku's is doing, although Goku gets critical hit. So both these guys are very, very powerful. And so, you know, knowing that, we do want to know if they are coming. So originally, Global should have been planned to get this LR for the part 2 here in just a couple of days. However, we do know now that we are getting a shared Part 2 LR, meaning this guy is way out the window, and his returning Carnival LR was the LR5 guys. So this is really interesting because the LR5 guys on Global ended up returning on the Gohan banner, I believe. Yes. All right. So LR5 guys ended up returning instead of the Kai Goku and we did not want to click that. Instead of Kai Goku and Kid Gohan, who returned on the JP Worldwide Celebration banners, right? Trunks got Kid Gohan, and Future Gohan got Kai Goku. Global didn't get that. We got Bulma and we got LR5 guys, which, you know, isn't necessarily bad, but it does mean when the heck are these guys going to come, right? There's only really two possibilities for them to show up, and that is right now when we get this Rising Dragon Carnival, this Double Rates banner for whoever this is meant to represent. I think we're thinking the Super Saiyan trio from the 13 movie right now, but whoever it ends up being, they've got to return as the two returning LRs here for this Double Rates banner, because if not, the only next possibility, right? I mean, it could be on Omega if Omega ends up being February, but I don't think that's as likely as returning now, because that's still a very long time for them to have been absent from Global, especially when JP has already got their return. If they don't return here, then the next possibility is during the anniversary, right? And if it is Global's anniversary, we are talking all the way in, right? We're going to use the 7th anniversary for reference because they don't have the 8th up on on the wiki here, but we're talking about late July. The 26th of July is when we could see these guys show up again if we follow Global's anniversary. If we're lucky and we get a synced anniversary in February for JP and Global, then we're talking mid-February, which is still far greater than the 6th-month return that JP had for these guys. So, I mean, it only makes sense to have them return now on whatever this Double Rates banner ends up being, because otherwise Global is really getting screwed out of this banner. More so than JP is, because, you know, if they show it, and I know what some people are going to say, well, you know, now JP has them return twice. It's like, yeah, but I mean, Global hasn't had them return once, and I would rather them return once on Global and twice on JP than not return on Global at all until the anniversary, right? That is easily the worst case scenario. So I do think it's very likely they will show up on this Double Rates banner here in just a couple of days, but we will definitely know whenever the date of download hits. So anyways, guys, that is the video. If you like the video, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe to the channel if you have not already. And in the comments down below, let me know, how likely do you think Kai Goku and Kid Gohan are to return on Global here on this Double Rates banner? And how many of you guys are planning on coining them with your Carnival coins? I got 1,000 coins ready and saved up for these guys because I got royally shafted on these banners. So anyways, guys, if nothing else, thanks for watching, and aloha.